There are places on Earth so extraordinary that even science struggles to explain them. Towering rock formations, color-shifting lakes, and landscapes with impossible shapes leave us without clear answers. Many regions contain unusual natural phenomena, as if they were shaped by rules different from our own. These mysteries remind us that nature still holds wonders far beyond our imagination. Step into these realms where nature defies every rule, revealing secrets that will change the way you see the world. Mount Hua in Shanxi Province is one of China's 5 great mountains, known as the world's steepest, with almost vertical granite cliffs. The ridges and hanging plank paths formed 1.6 billion years ago remain among East Asia's oldest geological structures. Its stone trail, carved in the 4th century, still connects modern climbers with the footsteps of ancient pilgrims across time. A true story tells of monk Xu Daotang, who lived alone on the summit for 27 years, leaving only when snow buried his shrine. In 1998, NASA, working with the Chinese Academy of Sciences, recorded 30 kHz ultrasonic waves rising from Mount Hua's cliffs, a rare aerodynamic phenomenon on Earth. If you want to know what it feels like to grip iron chains in cold wind and ice, come to Mount Hua, where challenge begins with one step. Sun Dung Cave lies within the ancient jungle of Phong Nha Ke Bang in Vietnam, recognized as the largest natural cave on Earth, a hidden universe below ground. Inside an isolated ecosystem, thrives with towering trees, underground rivers, drifting clouds, and sunlight pouring through 2 natural skylights. Stretching over 9 kilometers, its vaults rise 650 feet high and 500 feet wide, large enough to hold a 40-story building or an entire city block. Scientists believe Son Dung formed about 3 million years ago when an underground river eroded a giant limestone block revealing an inner world. Local people regard Sondung as a sacred treasure, living in harmony with nature and passing down legends of a mountain that swallowed the sky. UNESCO recognized Sondung and Phongnyake Bang as a World Natural Heritage Site twice in 2003 and 2015, affirming its global significance. Laguna Colorada in Bolivia is a salt lake over 14,000 feet high, where natural red tones spread across the frozen volcanic plateau of the Andes. The color of the water comes not from minerals, but from halophilic algae and microorganisms, proving life's resilience under extreme conditions. Stretching more than 4 miles, it is surrounded by white salt islands and sulfur mud flats where thousands of Andean flamingos breed in the freezing dry air. In 1972, a French geological team reported continuous ground tremors and distorted sunlight on the lake surface caused by sulfur gases and underground heat waves. Laguna Colorada is recognized by UNESCO for its ecological and geological importance, representing one of Earth's last surviving extreme environments. It remains a living symbol of Bolivia, reminding humanity of the fragile balance between lifetime and the raw power of the planet. The Altai Plateau is a natural junction of glaciers, steppe, and desert, one of the few places on Earth where 3 opposite landscapes meet in one space. Lying at the border of 4 countries, this ancient geological zone formed when continental plates collided, creating vast mountain ranges stretching for hundreds of miles. Altai is known as the biological center of Central Asia, with more than 1,200 plant species, including 80 that exist nowhere else, reflecting an incredible range of continental climates. Scientists warn that if global warming continues, by the year 2100 most glaciers here will melt and disappear completely. Magnetic anomalies in many areas disrupt compasses, so nomads navigate using the stars and mountain shapes to find their way. The most unforgettable moment for travelers is a night on the plateau when the Milky Way appears close enough to feel with the naked eye. White Pocket in Arizona is one of the rarest geological formations on Earth, formed over 190 million years ago from ancient sand and mud compressed deep underground into unique, swirling rock patterns. The sandstone surface contains high levels of iron and manganese oxides, which under ultraviolet light emit a faint glow through an ancient photochemical reaction. The formations are so fragile that even 1 inch of rainfall or a few misplaced steps can destroy the mineral crust that has survived for millions of years. In certain areas, compasses deviate by up to 15 degrees, caused by the magnetic pull of hematite crystals, a geophysical mystery, yet unsolved. The route to White Pocket extends more than 20 miles across deep, unmarked sand, preserving its pure isolation and silence. If you want to witness Earth telling its own story, come to White Pocket, where stone, wind, and time still write the planet's ongoing evolution. Briksdal Glacier in Norway is one of the few glaciers on Earth that produces natural sounds like the planet breathing as ancient ice shifts and cracks. Flowing from the vast Jostedalsbreen icefield, it rises more than 4,000 feet and still moves about 100 feet each year, despite global warming. Inside, scientists discovered air bubbles trapped for over 2,000 years, preserving traces of ancient atmosphere that help reconstruct prehistoric climates. Its turquoise meltwater comes from glacial flower minerals reflecting sunlight in a unique spectrum found only at Briksdal. In 1890, explorer William Cecil Slingsby named it the breathing icefall, and his notes turned Briksdal into a symbol that began Europe's natural tourism movement. Visit Briksdal, listen to the cracking ice, touch the ancient cold, and feel the Earth's heartbeat still echoing through this frozen world. Lake Survagsvatn is the only freshwater lake on Earth that creates the illusion of floating above the ocean, though it actually sits about 100 feet higher than sea level. It was formed from basalt lava that cooled more than 50 million years ago, leaving rare geological layers of solid black rock and natural slopes. The lake's single outlet falls directly into the sea, forming one of the few places where fresh and salt water meet in perfect balance. Its surrounding ecosystem supports seabird salmon and ancient moss, showing how life adapts in the harsh North Atlantic climate. Standing on the high cliff, visitors can feel the wind rising from the ocean, a moment that feels like touching the edge between two worlds. Lake Survagsvatn is more than a visual illusion. It is living proof of the fragile connection between nature perception and time. Dalol hydrothermal field lies within Ethiopia's Danakil Depression, known as the harshest place on Earth, where heat, salt, and acid coexist. It formed as deep magma met ancient salt water, creating hundreds of boiling acid lakes and toxic mineral springs. The colors of Dalol shift constantly through turquoise, yellow, orange, and white, turning the landscape into what looks like the surface of Mars. Visiting the site, you find almost no microbial life as temperatures exceed 113 degrees Fahrenheit and the acid lakes reach a pH near 0. NASA scientists have used Dalol as a model for studying survival on Mars, calling it a living laboratory of Earth's earliest conditions. Both mesmerizing and perilous, Dalol stands as proof of the thin line between creation and destruction, between life and the chaos that birthed it. Asya caldera in central Iceland is a massive volcanic depression where a deep lake and bare basalt cliffs create an otherworldly scene. The name Askja in Icelandic means box or chamber, perfectly describing the huge crater hidden within a desert of solidified lava. The 1875 eruption was one of Iceland's most violent events, sending ash across Scandinavia and crippling regional agriculture for years. Scientists believe Askja formed through subglacial eruptions and ground collapse, leaving a rare geological structure unlike anywhere else on Earth. Today, Askja attracts adventurers who come to touch the boundary between human curiosity and the raw forces that shape the planet. Cenote lies deep within the Yucatan jungle of Mexico, a vast circular sinkhole formed when limestone collapsed, revealing a hidden world of blue water below. Geologists believe the roof's collapse, exposing the groundwater, occurred over thousands of years, marking the Earth's endless cycle of decay and renewal. Sheer rock walls nearly 85 feet high surround water more than 130 feet deep, where ancient roots hang like bridges between earth and shadow. At its bottom, archaeologists found pottery bones and offerings proving it was once a sacred site where the Maya worshipped the rain god Chaak. To the ancient Maya, Ikkil was more than a cenote, it was a gateway to the spirit world where humanity touched the divine through light and water. But Tara Gorge, sinkhole in Lebanon, is a massive collapse through Jurassic limestone where meltwater from mountain snow creates a surreal vertical waterfall. The cascade plunges over 800 feet into a deep bowl, passing through 3 stacked natural stone bridges, a geological architecture found nowhere else on Earth. When you look up from the base, the 3 suspended levels above and the dark abyss below erase any sense of gravity or height. But Tara Gorge reminds us that nature's beauty is both powerful and fragile, filling us with awe and humility as we stand on its edge. Majlis al-Jinn lies deep beneath Oman's Selma Plateau, known as one of the largest and most mysterious natural cave chambers ever explored. There is no ground entrance, only 3 sinkholes cutting through limestone nearly 400 feet deep. And in 1985, the Oman US expedition confirmed the dome high enough to fit a 35-story building. The chamber is so immense that echoes take more than 10 seconds to return, dissolving any sense of space or time. Majlis al-Jinn has become a protected adventure site where you can descend into darkness, touch the cold stone, and feel the deep, slow breath of the earth itself. Kelimutu is a surreal volcano where 3 crater lakes constantly change colors as if reflecting the emotions of the earth itself. Rising over 5,200 feet, the lakes share a single magma source, yet display 3 different shades of blue, red, and black. Their sudden changes, sometimes overnight, reveal how fragile human reasoning is before the hidden power of nature. Standing before the crater, the sulfur mist and silence feel like witnessing the living soul of the planet shifting beneath you. Scientists believe reactions between sulfur iron and hydrogen sulfide cause the transformation, yet the true mechanism remains unsolved. Kelimutu is more than an unreal landscape. It reminds us that nature, like humanity, holds its own emotions, transformations, and memory. Perito Moreno Glacier Cavern is one of the few glaciers on Earth still expanding, moving more than 6 feet each day, creating enormous underground pressure. The blue light inside forms naturally as ice crystals absorb red wavelengths and reflect blue, filling the entire chamber with radiant glow. It is the only glacier in Patagonia where scientists can study natural ice balance without any human interference. Yet summer melting has risen by 15% over the last 2 decades, causing deep tunnels to collapse faster and disappear entirely. In 2019, an Argentine exploration robot filmed a hidden chamber more than 300 feet deep where turquoise light moved through swirling underground water. Fragile through time, yet enduring, Perito Moreno Glacier Cavern stands as a living symbol of natural power and Earth's remarkable ability to renew itself. Toa Grande Salt Flats is the highest salt plain in Argentina, where the pale ground reflects blinding light, creating an otherworldly landscape across the Andes. In hypersaline ponds, scientists discovered ancient microorganisms with structures similar to those in Martian meteorites, proving life's ability to adapt under extreme limits. A 2022 study by the University of Buenos Aires found that brine levels have dropped 40% in a decade, breaking crystals and destabilizing the terrain. When you stand in the middle of the flats, the glare blinds your eyes, the dry air burns your skin, the wind smells of minerals, and silence surrounds you. Tola Grande stands as both a natural heritage of Argentina and a mirror of the fragile boundary between life and nothingness. Valle de las Animas, also known as the Valley of Souls, is a geological wonder where thousands of stone pillars rise more than 200 feet high at over 12,000 feet in the Andes. The pillars were formed from ancient volcanic ash and sediment, sculpted by wind rain and melting ice over millions of years, creating a harsh yet majestic landscape. For the Aymara people, this sacred valley holds the spirits of their ancestors believed to guard the mountains and protect their descendants. Each year, locals make pilgrimages, bringing coca leaves and corn liquor to honor Pachamama, the earth goddess, in rituals of gratitude and peace. But global warming is melting surrounding ice, faster increasing erosion, and causing many ancient pillars to collapse over time. Travelers who reach Valle de las Animas witness not only a natural wonder, but a profound connection between humanity and the living earth. Kawah Ijen is the only volcano on Earth where real blue flames burn from sulfur gas, igniting at over 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit in the night air. Its acid lake is powerful enough to dissolve metal and bone within hours, and the vapor turns into toxic mist that can erode rubber masks. It remains the last place on the planet where miners carry yellow sulfur blocks weighing about 150 pounds by hand from the crater. Experts warn sulfur dioxide levels have increased 40% in 2 decades, and the blue fire could disappear if pressure becomes unstable. Local miners smoke cigarettes amid sulfur smoke, a survival mystery scientists still cannot explain. At sunrise, the first light turns the acid lake blue as white smoke rises from the earth, blending with the cold mountain air, creating a rare moment on Earth. Lake Survagsvatn on Vaga Island is a sight that astonishes the world, where the lake appears to float in mid-air. The lake stretches nearly 3 miles yet rises only about 100 feet above the ocean, but from the Tralanipan cliff, the illusion feels unreal. Formed over 50 million years ago from ancient volcanic basalt, the tilted plateau creates a deceptive sense of height toward the Atlantic. Geologists define it as a geological illusion, where light, slope, and curvature combine to deceive the human eye. Standing there, with the North Atlantic wind on your face, you watch the calm surface mirror the grey sky and question what's real. Lake Survagsvatn is called an impossible land, a place where nature breaks logic and forces you to doubt your own perception of reality. Vermilion Cliffs National Monument is where earth and wind merge into a living geological canvas where every stone layer tells the planet's ancient history. Towering nearly 3,000 feet, the cliffs were formed over 190 million years ago when ancient desert sands compressed into red sandstone. The red, yellow, and violet hues come from iron, manganese, and clay minerals, turning the landscape into a rare natural archive. For thousands of years, the wind carved soft spirals into fossilized dunes, leaving structures seen by geologists as an open book of Earth's memory. When you stand before the cliffs, the dry heat flows around you, and the light makes the land move with the breath of wind. Vermilion Cliffs stands as a symbol of America's wild frontier, where primal beauty and time exist together in perfect silence. Al-Wahba crater is a massive phreatic sinkhole on the Arabian volcanic plateau, about 850 feet deep and nearly 1.5 miles wide, formed when magma met underground water in a violent explosion. At its bottom, a pure, thick white salt layer has formed over thousands of years as evaporation left sodium, potassium, and sulfur minerals crystallized in bright circular rings. Geologists regard it as a natural archive that reveals the Arabian Peninsula's ancient climate history, when groundwater and humid periods once shaped the land. Legend tells that an angel fell here in rage, leaving behind the eye of heaven, gazing eternally upon the earth. Today, Al-Wahba stands not only as a desert wonder, but as a call to preserve the planet's original heartbeat for generations to come. Chesler Park is an isolated valley within ancient sandstone, where massive towers, nearly 300 feet high, form a rare natural circle on Earth. The barren ground is covered by living soil made of ancient algae and bacteria, an original ecosystem able to create oxygen and store water even without rain for months. Geologists see it as one of the few places where sandstone erosion over hundreds of millions of years can be studied within only a few yards of land. As temperature shifts, minerals inside the rock react, turning its surface from silver white to copper red, a natural optical effect found nowhere else. In 1978, geologists discovered that Cheslor Park emits low vibrations at night, a natural resonance phenomenon found in only 2 places on Earth. In that profound silence, you can feel the heartbeat of the Earth, where nature continues to tell the story of hundreds of millions of years of evolution. Wukaiwan is an open-air museum where earth and wind have carved the planet's memory for over 100 million years, shaping a multicolored landscape of primeval origin. Layers of sediment rich in iron, manganese, and copper oxides create red, purple, yellow, brown, and green tones, reflecting sunlight like streams of living minerals. As dusk falls, the scattered light through the rocks makes the valley shift colors every minute, as if the earth itself were breathing. Many geologists call it a silent, dying landscape, a reminder of nature's power and its limits under the hands of time. Legend says this land was once the battlefield of wind gods, and the red and yellow hues are traces of their remaining spirits. Come to Wukaiwan to feel where nature still tells the story of life, death, and the unbroken beauty of ancient Earth. Bisti Denadzin Wilderness is an ancient sedimentary land where late Cretaceous layers remain exposed across the arid southwest of the United States. Over 70 million years ago, it was a coastal plain where mud volcanic ash and marine remains built up into multicolored rock strata. Through time, wind and rain stripped away the soft layers, leaving stone towers, mud pinnacles, and hoodoos as vivid records of ancient erosion. The Navajo people see this land as home to ancestral spirits, while geologists read it as an open archive of North America's geological past. The clay surface reflects light intensely, causing each sunset to shift colors depending on angle and moisture in the air. For those who reach it, a night in Bisti is unforgettable. Absolute silence, moonlight over ancient stone, and the feeling of standing within fossilized time. Isquialasto Provincial Park in northwest Argentina, also known as the Valley of the Moon, is famous for its arid terrain, silver clay, and exposed rock layers revealing more than 230 million years of history. It was once home to one of the earliest dinosaurs, Eoraptor linensis, which lived over 231 million years ago, marking the dawn of the dinosaur age. For Argentinians, this place is not only a natural wonder, but a stone diary recording the evolution of life and the planet's endless transformations. Visitors who reach this valley witness not just an ancient landscape, but the primal heartbeat of Earth, where wind and stone still tell the story of life's origin. Baishui River Glacier is known as the last ice wall of the tropics, where snow survives beside forests and the moist southern clouds. Over the past 40 years, the ancient glacier has shrunk by more than 60%, exposing seabed rock as living proof of Earth's rapid warming. By millennia of ice and pressure. Inside, shifting shades of blue move with the water and ice, making the entire space feel alive and breathing. For those who reach it, Mendenhall is not a place to see, but a moment to feel the Earth's pulse, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Lago di Rasia is known for its medieval bell tower rising from the lake, the last remnant of a village lost since 1950. The lake was formed when three natural basins were joined to create a hydroelectric dam, forcing more than 1,000 people to abandon their homes. Beneath the freezing water remain stone walls and brick roads preserved by low temperature and oxygen levels for decades. In winter, the surface freezes about 16 inches thick, and visitors walk to the tower, hearing the wind hum through its arches like a memory alive. Salar de Tebenquiche is an ancient salt lake over 10,000 years old, its thick sediments preserving the geological and climate history of South America. With salinity 10 times higher than ocean water and highly alkaline conditions, it hosts halophile bacteria capable of surviving in Mars-like environments. Though located in an almost rainless region underground, aquifers sustain steady water flow year-round, forming a unique self-balanced ecosystem within absolute dryness. Beneath the crust, ancient algae emit faint nocturnal light caused by reactions between lithium and sodium chloride, a phenomenon never recorded in any other salt lake. Lake Maiwurten is known for hundreds of pseudo-craters created when molten lava collided with cold lake water in violent steam explosions. These giant pits, spread across the volcanic valley, each averaging more than 1,600 feet wide, forming one of the rarest landscapes on Earth. Maiwurten is the only place in Europe that shows the complete process of lava meeting and cooling with water, proving Iceland's geological power. The lake's mineral-rich water sustains dozens of bird and plant species, building a resilient ecosystem in the middle of a volcanic zone. NASA once used this terrain to test Mars exploration equipment because its heat, soil, and structure are unmatched anywhere else on the planet. When you walk across Lake Maiwurten, every step makes you feel the boundary between life and lava, where Earth keeps creating itself with every breath. Laguna Blanca and Laguna Verde are twin mineral lakes on Bolivia's southwestern Altiplano, famous for their surreal colors found nowhere else on Earth. One glows milky white from suspended minerals, while the other shines jade green from arsenic, magnesium, and copper under the thin air at 14,000 feet. In ancient times, they merged into one vast body, leaving old shoreline marks as evidence of a vanished water age 13,000 years ago. According to Altiplano legend, these colored lakes are where the spirits of volcanoes, and when you come here, you can see glaciers meet a sacred space between earth and sky. Zaranoro Massif in southern Madagascar is a massive granite formation rising from a semi-arid valley. Its smooth vertical walls making it one of Madagascar's most extraordinary geological wonders. This ancient formation is a remnant of the supercontinent Gondwana, formed over 165 million years ago, still carrying the planet's earliest scars. Rainwater never forms streams, but seeps into cracks and evaporates upward, revealing a sealed granite system found almost nowhere else on Earth. For the Betsileo people, Zaranoro Massif is not just a geological wonder, but a dwelling of ancestral spirits, symbolizing the eternal bond between humanity and the earth. Los Gigantes cliffs on Tenerife's western coast in the Canary Islands are towering basalt walls rising above the Atlantic like the planet's natural fortress. Reaching between 1,600 and 2,600 feet, with slopes close to 90 degrees, they are considered among Europe's most formidable sea cliffs. In 1967, a climbing team led by Ramon Portilla made the first successful ascent, proving humanity could overcome its own limits. Beneath the surface, the basalt formation extends more than 40 meters deep, forming a dense structure filled with ancient voids that remain unexplored. In 2006, geophysicists from Spain's IGM Institute detected resonant frequencies between 45 and 60 Hz, revealing 7 natural cavities and hinting at deeper hidden chambers within the rock. Standing before Los Gigantes, you can feel the echo of stone and sea, where human boundaries fade between the two breaths of the earth. Todra Gorge is a colossal fracture in the earth, lying at 1,380 meters, where the Todra River carved through the Atlas Mountains over millions of years. Moroccan geologists determined the canyon formed along an ancient fault line that split the limestone mass into two monumental walls. The cliffs rise more than 160 meters, with gaps as narrow as 9 meters, making it one of the world's most dramatic and confined gorges. Studies show erosion here occurs 3 times faster than normal, and cracks atop the cliffs prove the gorge is still expanding each year. Among these towering rocks, the Berber people built clay homes, turning nature's harsh divide into a place of coexistence with the earth itself. If you want to walk between the planet's giant walls, come to Todra Gorge, where humanity stands face to face with the primal force of nature. Picos de Europa in northern Spain is where massive limestone ridges rise from the Cantabrian Sea, marking the first frontier of the Western Alps. In 1918, the area was declared Spain's first national park for its unique geological and ecological value. Geologists have documented glacial caves and natural chasms, including one dropping more than 5,500 feet, a vertical window into the geological history of Europe. The range formed over 300 million years ago when tectonic plates collided, lifting ancient seabeds into vertical peaks more than 600 feet high. Steep slopes, ancient glaciers, and karst valleys create a living landscape where time continues to carve each layer of stone. Today, the range still draws climbers who face not only height, but the rare feeling of touching Earth's deep age. Poás volcano crater lake in Costa Rica is where the Earth reveals a living fracture as heat and steam rise from a lake of unnatural turquoise color. Its crater spans more than 1 kilometer across and holds an acid lake nearly 1,000 feet deep, ranking among the world's most dangerous volcanic lakes. Around the rim, acid rain and toxic gases twist the vegetation, turning trees into contorted silhouettes and forests into a permanent scorched zone. In 2017, Poás erupted violently, throwing rocks over a kilometer and destroying all vegetation within a 60-meter radius. Sensors show that before each eruption, the entire crater floor swells by several feet, as if a giant creature beneath the Earth were taking a breath, a phenomenon seen nowhere else on the planet. Poás is recognized by the International Union of Geological Sciences, IUGS, as a global open-air geological laboratory and one of the few places where visitors can witness a volcano still poised to erupt. Nabiotum crater in northern Kenya lies within Lake Turkana, where you can witness an isolated volcanic crater rising from saline waters like a remnant of the Earth's earliest age. Its uniqueness lies in its location, a funnel-shaped island within turquoise waters, reflecting the African sky and the lingering heat of the planet's crust. Geologists determined Nabiotum was formed by basaltic eruptions during the Pleistocene over 5,000 years ago, when Lake Turkana was twice its current size. Visiting Nabiotum, you stand between land and water on a solitary volcano that feels like a fragment of the Earth still unfinished. Grazú volcano in Costa Rica is the nation's highest peak, where land and cloud layers meet within an ever-shifting geological landscape. The mountain rises above 11,000 feet, with multiple craters, the main one holding a turquoise-green lake that changes to gray depending on eruptive minerals. Its largest eruption in 1963 coincided with U.S. President John F. Kennedy's visit, covering San Jose with volcanic ash for days. Studies show Irazu was formed by the collision of the Cocos and Caribbean plates, a tectonic process still active beneath the surface. Geophysical measurements record constant micro-tremors and sulfur emissions, proving the magma system remains alive. Visiting this place, you can stand at the rim of Costa Rica's highest volcano, looking down into the Earth's living core, a rare encounter with nature's raw power. Oldueño Lengai is an active volcano in northern Tanzania, the only volcano on Earth that still erupts the extremely rare carbonatite lava. It is the only volcano on the planet that erupts carbonatite lava, a cold, fluid magma that turns from black when hot to white as it cools. When you stand on its slopes, the lava reveals so much sodium and calcium that rain causes it to crumble into dust, a phenomenon unseen anywhere else. To the Maasai Lengai is the Mountain of God, each eruption a sacred message, both a warning and a blessing to the land below. Mammoth Cave National Park in Kentucky, USA, lets you witness the largest limestone cave system on Earth with hundreds of miles hidden underground. Inside ancient limestone, carved by water over millions of years, forms winding corridors, soaring ceilings, and giant stalactites like pillars of time. Its layered network remains only partly mapped, leaving uncharted voids where explorers still step into the untouched darkness of the Earth. Native Americans once saw it as a gateway to the underworld, where ancestral spirits dwell in eternal silence and shadow. In popular culture, Mammoth Cave has been called the stomach of a giant whale, a symbol of infinity mystery and the planet's primal power. This place lies the tale of Lost John, a saltpeter miner, crushed by falling rock, and discovered years later becoming an eternal legend within the cave's depths. Cueva de los Cristales lies more than 300 meters underground in Chihuahua, Mexico, the only known cave containing giant selenite crystals over 10 meters long. Massive crystal pillars rise from floor to ceiling, glowing white in a suffocating yet mesmerizing atmosphere that feels almost unreal around the world. Researchers explain that the phenomenon occurred as mineral-rich groundwater heated by magma cooled extremely slowly, allowing crystals to grow for hundreds of thousands of years undisturbed. In 2017, NASA discovered ancient microorganisms trapped inside the selenite crystals for tens of thousands of years and revived them in a laboratory. Cueva de los Cristales is a gateway to Earth's past, where beauty, life, and destruction coexist within the same breath. Melisani Cave lies near the eastern coast of Kefalonia, Greece, where crystal blue water mirrors sunlight like a natural lens within the limestone heart of the island. Thousands of years ago, its roof collapsed, creating a vast circular opening where sunlight transforms the underground lake into a living sea of shifting light. In 1951, explorer Giannis Petrokilos discovered a twin-chamber system stretching more than 500 feet, connected to the Ionian Sea through unexplained underwater passages. Scientists believe the glowing blue color forms from the mix of seawater and fresh water, yet the strange optical reflection remains unsolved. As you drift across the clear surface, the lake floor appears beneath you, giving the feeling of floating in mid-air. Melisani is more than a landscape. It is nature's memory, where light, water, and stone breathe together as one ancient rhythm of the earth. Deep beneath Iceland's vast Vatnajökull glacier lies a wonder where ice water and time merge into one living creation. You stand among layers of ice hundreds of feet thick, where filtered light turns the frozen walls into radiant living glass. Each cave forms when summer meltwater carves tunnels through the glacier, then refreezes, creating domes of blue that never repeat the same way. Every winter, the system transforms, as if nature were composing a new masterpiece from the planet's cold breath. The mystery is that some caves remain stable, even as the ice melts and shifts, a phenomenon science still cannot fully explain. Icelanders call Vatnajökull the home of water and time, a place where nature keeps breathing, reminding humanity of beauty, fragile yet eternal. Putangirua Pinnacles, in the southern part of New Zealand's North Island, is a unique geological site with thousands of vertical stone columns rising more than 150 feet, formed by ancient river sediment eroded over millions of years. Researchers regard Putangirua as an open-air laboratory where wind and water can be seen sculpting the earth through centuries. Experts warn that if the current erosion rate continues, the area's iconic formations could disappear entirely within the next 100 years. In 1999, it was used as the setting for the Path of the Dead in The Lord of the Rings, revealing its haunting natural beauty to the world. Visitors leaving Putangirua Pinnacles often feel they have walked off another planet where stone and wind still tell Earth's ancient story. Lake Ababe is a hypersaline lake in the Afar Rift, where the Earth's crust splits apart at nearly 1 inch per year, a phenomenon visible to the naked eye. Beneath the surface, hot gases from miles below meet cool groundwater, forming more than 400 limestone chimneys up to 150 feet high, venting sulfur steam and boiling water all day and night. The lake formed over 2 million years ago when the ancient Awash Basin was divided, leaving vast salt plains and bright mineral layers reflecting the sunlight. It is one of the most Mars-like environments on Earth, where heat-resistant microbes and methane gas survive, studied by NASA as a model for life beyond our planet. The Afar people regard it as sacred, believing the rising vapor carries ancestral spirits while they still harvest salt by hand amid heat and sulfur air. Come to Maktesh Ramon, where the largest natural erosion crater on Earth unfolds before you, formed over 220 million years ago with the deepest geological layers of the Negev Desert. Each layer of rock reveals a record of Earth's past, with red sandstone from the Jurassic era, black basalt from ancient magma, and golden sands from deserts that vanished millions of years ago. Experts warn the crater keeps widening by several inches every year as wind and rain erode its cliffs, gradually reshaping its original form. In 1989, scientists detected steady vibrations beneath the crater, resembling the heartbeat of the Earth, a rare natural phenomenon known as the Earth Pulse effect. For travelers, Maktesh Ramon is a gateway to 200 million years of geological history, where humanity can witness the living past of our planet. Valle de los Monjes is a sandstone valley in Mexico, where dozens of giant stone columns rise like human figures in prayer. These formations were shaped by wind, rain, and frost over millions of years, recording traces of ancient climate and slow geological movement. At about 8,000 feet, the dry and cool air with sharp day-night changes allows pine, oak, and cactus to coexist in a rare ecosystem. The silica-rich soil preserves ancient plant fossils almost intact, offering valuable evidence for studying the planet's early climate. Experts warn that logging and new tourist roads could deform these unique rock columns within 50 years without strong protection. Travelers describe an unforgettable feeling when standing in the valley at sunset, as golden light covers the silent rocks, and time itself seems to pause. Devollevaros is known for more than 200 sandstone pillars between 20 and 50 feet tall, each topped with massive stone caps, forming a surreal landscape in southern Serbia. Geologists call it the erosional cathedral, a natural temple where every column embodies the fragile balance between creation and decay. A 2018 study found rainfall had increased by 15%, weakening the clay and doubling the risk of collapse within 50 years. Ancient legend says this land was once a village turned to stone after a forbidden marriage, leaving wandering spirits within the valley. Today, Devollevaros remains a place of awe and silence, where beauty, fear, and respect for nature coexist in perfect stillness. Lake Karum is regarded as a primeval Earth laboratory, where extreme natural conditions recreate environments once present on Mars. Beneath the lake flows a network of mineral springs rich in sulfur, chloride, and magnesium, whose chemical reactions change the water's color from white to green or silver-gray with the seasons. The Afar say, when the salt no longer feels heavy, the lake's spirit is fading, a warning of the growing imbalance of nature. Lake Karum has been chosen as a training site for explorers to simulate Martian conditions because of its unique salinity and terrain. The journey to this place crosses a vast desert where the ground turns silver and the scenery unfolds with an unreal sense beyond the human world. The Pinnacles Desert is a unique geological heritage of Australia, where thousands of ancient limestone pillars rise from golden sand, recording tens of thousands of years of Earth's evolution. These formations originated from marine organisms that hardened into limestone when the region was an ancient sea, later exposed by retreating water and wind erosion. Beneath the sand lies a base rich in calcium carbonate, a key factor, allowing the pillars to remain stable for millennia. For the Nyungar people, the site holds sacred meaning, as they believe the stones our ancestors turned to rock to guard the land. Researchers regard the Pinnacles as a rare natural laboratory, revealing the pure mechanics of erosion in semi-arid environments. The most unforgettable moment for travelers is standing among the stone pillars at night when moonlight reveals the ancient rhythm of the planet itself. Dasht Alut Desert is Iran's most extreme land, known as one of the harshest places on Earth, with surreal terrain and heat beyond human limits. The desert stretches for hundreds of miles, shaped over millions of years by ancient winds and water, forming thousands of massive earth structures called kalut, timeless natural creations. Satellite studies confirm its central zone is entirely lifeless, with no plants, animals, or microbes, making it one of the planet's true dead regions. Beneath the dunes lie layers of black basalt and solidified salt, evidence of ancient volcanoes and long-vanished lakes. When you walk through the heart of Lut, the heat rises, the dry wind cuts your skin, and silence reveals the pulse of the earth itself. Today, Dasht-e Lut stands as a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site, a global symbol of Earth's raw power and enduring significance. Abraham Lake in Canada is the only artificial lake in the world known for preserving millions of frozen methane bubbles that no other place can replicate. Each bubble forms from methane released by microbes decomposing organic matter at the bottom, then freezes into white layers, rising beneath the clear ice. When winds reach over 60 miles per hour, the snow lifts away, revealing an immense forest of bubbles naturally shaped without any human interference. Scientists regard it as a rare open-air laboratory, where greenhouse gases can be observed trapped and released through Earth's natural cycles. The phenomenon is not only visually striking, but also a warning about rising methane levels that intensify global climate change. With its scientific significance, unique landscape, and symbolic power, Abraham Lake stands as living proof of the fragile bond between beauty and the strength of our planet. Skaftafell ice caves are one of the few places on Earth where light passes through thousand-year-old ice, creating a blue world that exists only in winter. The caves form when summer meltwater hollows the glacier's base, then freezes again into massive crystal domes. Beneath more than 3,000 feet of ice, layers of volcanic ash and desert dust carried by ancient winds record thousands of years of climate change. This site serves as a natural glacier laboratory, providing data on a retreat rate of more than 100 feet per year due to global warming. Stepping outside, travelers realize they have witnessed Earth's fragile beauty, something that could vanish within the next century. Kwiatyn Peak is not only Mongolia's highest point, but also a natural frontier where three continental plates collide, forming rock structures over 300 million years old. Beneath layers of ice, hundreds of feet thick, ancient cores preserve volcanic ash and atmospheric dust, recording Central Asia's prehistoric climate shifts. In just 3 decades, glaciers here have shrunk by nearly half, exposing ancient seabed rocks and revealing melting rates twice the global average. For the Kazakh nomads, this mountain is the spirit of Altai. Each stone placed in their Ovu ritual symbolizes a promise between humanity and the mountain gods. In this near-otherworldly silence, Kwiatyn stands as the true frontier between science and the sacred, between Earth's memory and the human present. Begin your journey at Yerkul Salon, where ancient ice drifts silently across turquoise water, merging with the cold breath of the northern sea. This is Iceland's largest natural glacier lake, formed after 1930, as the glacier retreated now, spanning more than 11 square miles and reaching about 930 feet deep, with ice over 1,000 years old. It is a natural laboratory where scientists monitor annual melting to forecast rising sea levels across the planet. If global warming continues, the glacier feeding the lagoon could disappear by the year 2100, leaving a saltwater bay instead of this frozen world. The surreal beauty of Yerkul Salon has appeared in James Bond, Another Day, Batman Begins, and Interstellar, proving nature's true cinematic power. As travelers glide between ice blocks higher than 40 feet, they realize this is an experience to live once in a lifetime. Boiling Lake is the second largest natural boiling lake on Earth, but unique because it lies inside a tropical rainforest, not in a barren volcanic field. The lake spans about 200 feet, constantly steaming with powerful boiling water, rising like a living breath through the forest air. It forms the only extreme ecosystem in the Caribbean where heat-loving microbes live in boiling water, and their DNA is studied by NASA for extraterrestrial survival research. Lake Turkana in northern Kenya is known as the Jade Sea of the desert, the only place where water, rock, and wind tell the story of life within drought. Geologists confirm it was born from the Earth's Great Fracture when tectonic plates drifted apart, forming the deep basin of the Great Rift Valley. Learns to plant hope upon vertical stone. Simien Mountains in northern Ethiopia, known as the Roof of Africa, were formed by massive volcanic eruptions over 40 million years ago as basaltic lava cooled into fractured plateaus. The region holds more than 25 peaks above 4,000 meters and over 20 deep gorges, each preserving a unique record of ancient eruptions. Geologists discovered plagioclase and olivine minerals within the basalt, proving that molten rock once rose from deep inside the Earth to create this range. Erosion here averages 0.3 millimeters a year, twice the Andes, showing this landscape is still transforming, and the Simien Mountains remain living proof that the Earth never stops moving. Gaina Ridge in Romania's Apuseni Mountains defies natural order, where limestone peaks, forests, and mist merge into a single living motion. Geologists confirm the area was once an ancient sea floor over 100 million years ago, with marine fossils still sealed inside the white stone. The mountain's surface expands and contracts with wet and dry seasons, creating a micropulsation known by researchers as Earth's heartbeat. Every July, you can join locals at the summit to witness the mist dissolve and winds shift precisely at sunrise, a phenomenon unseen anywhere else in the Carpathians. In 2014, the Romanian Geological Institute reported that the spiral winds around Gheina follow aerodynamic patterns similar to ancient karst caverns. Many believe the summit marks a meeting point of opposite air currents, where sky and ground converge, forming one of Earth's rare breathing zones. Cocra Valley in Colombia's Andes Mountains is a land where towering wax palms create a landscape unlike anywhere else on Earth. It is home to Caroxylon quinduens, the world's tallest palm that can reach over 200 feet and outlive generations of people. The Quimbaya once believed the wax palm linked earth and sky, and since 1985, the Colombian government has recognized it as the national tree, protecting Cocora as a natural heritage site. The ecosystem forms part of Los Nevados National Park, where glacial waters sustain countless rare birds and plants. Walking along the valley trail, the wind hums through the trunks a deep rhythm that feels like the forest breathing. When the fog descends, the palms seem to move gently, as if the valley holds the soul of the Andes, a lasting symbol of Colombia's natural spirit. Dieng Plateau in central Java, Indonesia, is an ancient volcanic highland formed from the collapse of Mount Prau's crater over 17,000 years ago. Known as the abode of the gods, it is a land where magma never sleeps, and the Earth's breath still rises through the cracks. The area holds more than 10 volcanic craters and hundreds of natural gas vents, proving the persistence of an active geothermal system. When you stand among color-changing lakes and steaming vents, it feels as if you are witnessing the Earth in its early creation. Amid this volatile terrain stand 7th-century Hindu temples, marking the earliest civilization in Indonesia's history. Dieng Plateau is more than a relic of volcanism. It is a symbol of where Earth and humanity share the same origin of creation. Nisirus caldera on the island of Nisirus in the Aegean Sea, Greece, is a massive volcanic crater where steam vents and fumaroles still breathe. Formed by the collapse of a magma dome about 160,000 years ago, it is the youngest link in the ancient Aegean volcanic arc. The terrain blends ash pumice, sulfur, and mineral mud, painting the ground in bands of white, yellow, and orange like an alien world. The earth beneath your feet stays warm between 60 and 100 degrees, and you can hear boiling sounds from the magma below. GPS data reveal the central area rising about 1 centimeter each year, a clear sign of molten rock moving beneath the surface. Here, people live with the volcano, turning mud and sulfur into medicine, finding balance between destruction and renewal. Aogashima Island lies in the Pacific Ocean, over 350 kilometers from Tokyo, a rare volcanic island where people live inside a crater within another crater. In 1785, Aogashima endured a violent eruption that lasted over 3 months, killing more than half its population and erasing most of the island's surface. The island's double caldera structure makes it look as if the Earth has folded in on itself, creating a world both fragile and self-contained. Formed by successive eruptions over 4,000 years, Aogashima still releases geothermal steam and volcanic gases from vents deep inside the mountain. Covering just 9 square kilometers, it is home to about 160 residents who use the volcano's heat for daily life, and where you can still witness people living normally inside a sleeping crater. Aogashima stands as a place where humans have learned to live with danger, a rare symbol of endurance balanced between existence and annihilation.